Kia ora everyone and welcome to Dirt Church Radio AidStation number 35. I'm Matt Raymond.
I'm Ali Pottinger.
And our old mate Andrew McDowell is otherwise indisposed, but you will hear him a little bit later. Ali was laughing then because I pressed record and then just completely faded out and stood there just looking puzzled. So that's been... I'd forgotten what it was like post-ultramarathon actually, that, that complete cognitive non-availability. It's quite punishing.
So that's what it's down to. So how was Northland 100, Matt?
Northland 100 was amazing. It was such a... Man, we packed a lot into this weekend. So left after work on Friday afternoon and drove a couple of hours up to Whānau and stayed at a nice little kind of farm stay place a couple of K out from where the forest was. Cool. Yeah, literally like that. Got up in the morning and drove out, and it's our friends Helen and Chris, Dirt Church Radio alumni. They do his and hers events. Helen just crushed it in the 24-hour champs a little while back, and legends, you know, they put on King's Backyard and do heaps for the community, and also rent out the gazebos. You see them everywhere, Blue Lake, all the backyards. And this was their inaugural race. So there was a 55k, an 80k, 100k, and 100-mile in Glenbervie Forest, which is like, if you think about it, you could imagine, if you know Riverhead, it's like Riverhead on steroids. The other touchstone would be, it's like going up the back of Fenton Mill out there. It's all like that big burly gravel climbs and, you know, and some nice single tracky bits too. And so, yeah, it was a first time event. So we were super keen to go up there and support them. And Bradley from Trail Running New Zealand came up, so that was cool to see him, and heaps of other peeps up there too, and just had a blast actually. So yeah, saw Sean McWilliams, and that was really cool. Getting to run with Sean, it's always pretty incredible chat, and just had an amazing day.
How was Rebecca's day? Did she have fun?
Yeah, Rebecca had fun too. Like we always knew that we would get almost instantly separated, which is exactly what happened. But yeah, she was amazing. So she came in not that long after me, actually, like 17 minutes after me, and she was chilling.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was, yeah, she had a good day. It was, you know, it was 57k and about 1,500 meters of vert. So
good.
Not too shabby at all.
Yeah.
So, and very cool. Like first long run since Tarawera. No problems. Mental state was really good. It was just chill and just didn't try and race anyone or catch anyone or do anything stupid. Just enjoyed the day. Long time on the feet, and it was fully sick. So, I met Hayden from Run Adjacent, so the Northland based. Yeah, ran with him for a while. That was really choice. So, awesome to bump into other people doing running media in Aotearoa, you know, both Bradley and Hayden, and how cool that was. And yeah, it was radical. And then we finished the run and then drove straight back to Auckland, which we'd had so much caffeine over the day. We were both like yes, straight shot home, got home, watched the All Blacks. It was beautiful.
How was that first step out of the car?
Yeah, it was punishing. Utterly punishing, yeah.
I remember once I did a long run in the Tararua Ranges, and it was really cold, and I went to get out of my car when I got back home, and I literally just fell to the side, and then I thought, I bet my neighbours think that I've been drink driving, because so I just burst into hysterics like, oh no, I'm chair shaped now. This is was it like that?
Yeah, it was like that. The dog decided he wanted to go to the bathroom about 3 a.m.
No.
And so taking him out in the dark and going up our back garden was also like, I'm going to get dragged down this hill by this dog because my quads are going to seize up. But yeah, look, for, you know, we talked last week about how holding something really heavily that you're kind of okay at and it's a hobby is something that I kind of do, like take it really seriously, prepare, and I'm still pretty okay at it. Like, okay. But this one, going into it with very little consistent training and yeah, it was fine. I mean, it was slower than I probably, if I'd trained, I would have run it faster, but I don't know if I would have had any less of a good time. And it was super choice. It was really, really cool.
It's good. I'm glad that you had a good time out there,
Yeah.
and pretty cool for them to tick off the inaugural event. And that was it must have been a pretty big turnaround for Helen, because wasn't she at Dead Car Gully?
Yeah, they both were. And
I
I think they're getting married soon too.
Golly, it's all happening.
Yeah, I know they're cramming it in, and it was really cool. Like Chris, because they're both, firefighters, and Chris is, I don't know if you've ever seen the man or met the man. He's well north of 6 foot, and just the most gentlest, sweetest dude. But he was given the race briefing. He was laying down the law. He was like, by the way, that waiver that you didn't read, there's a clause in that that's saying if we have to come looking for you and you just haven't told us you finished, we're billing you for it. And sort of went down all this stuff. It was really cool. Yeah. It was so. Yeah.
He brought out his headmaster's voice.
He brought out his fire safety officer voice for real.
Oh, fire safety officer.
It was cool. Sean was up there. Sean Collins was up there doing timing. Runners with beards were there. So it was a real crew, and it was really nice too to kind of Sebastian in the background there.
Can you hear bath noise?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what I do when I'm in the bath. I shout.
Just shout.
It's kind of so nice to do something north of Auckland. There's so much. It is a sleeping giant up there. So yeah.
Like, when was it? 2020, we had to be out of our house for 10 days because we're getting the asbestos removed. And we went up to Northland and we were running around there, and oh my goodness, there's so much beautiful, hard running up there. It's definitely worth a visit for sure.
Yeah. So no, that was awesome. And again, good step in the process and step in the right direction. So super stoked. I've named my bursitis though.
Given him a character.
I call him Bernie Sanders because it's a burning sensation.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, turned up at about 17K and then went away again. So happy days.
Not bad.
Yeah, not concerned at all. But look, it's the AidStation, and normally we ask a question or discuss a topic, but we have been in such fine interview grabbing fettle recently that we're kind of needing to pump them out. So who did you and Andrew speak to this week for our interview?
We spoke to Maree Connor, who we've been trying to get her on the podcast for quite a while, and she was like, I'll talk to you after Westmax Monster. So once she'd run and won that, I was like, come on, Maree, it's time.
And just run me down some of her achievements, what she knocked off.
Yeah, so she's done Badwater, Spartathlon. She's been co-captain for Australian 24-hour world champs team, I believe. And she ran, you'll hear it in the interview, but some decent Ks for her track 24 hours. What else has she done? Coast to Cozzy. Yeah, she's an absolute weapon, and she's a very neat person, and I was looking forward to hearing a bit more about what went on behind in that cranium of hers.
So fun. Yeah. It's again, and this is recency bias, it's so amazing the mental games that you play, or just how people, it's really interesting having just done longer stuff, doing that. Like when I got to 40K and you had to go back out on another loop, I was like, totally cool. Like, just like, happy days. I'm just going to, head out, fill my bottles. Shannon Lee Litt was there. She filled my bottles. Yeah, that was rad. She was running out.
I saw she'd got there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. Not every day you can say you're getting crewed by someone who's got a world record, but that was pretty choice. How was your weekend? Did you get out for a long run?
I did, a Saturday, and it was very cold, heavy frost, one of the heaviest frost I think I've seen for a number of years here. The forest was just icy, but awesome. Yes, I went out with my friend Charlotte, and it went way better than the week before. It was a tougher run the week before. I think I'd just been hitting the gym a bit much, and this week felt far better, which was good. So it was very enjoyable. And I thought when I was running along, putting a stream about how good it was that I could be, having a good old long run in the forest.
Did you get your foot condoms out? Did you go cross pedal?
No, I didn't. I need to source some. Like, where do you get these things from?
Oh man, that was amazing. We're referring to the Hard Rock, the dude. Who was it? Was it
Matthew Blanchard?
Matthew Blanchard, going across that stream. That was just so amazing. But look, we'll leave all thoughts of long runs, mid-ultras and foot condoms aside for your catch-up with the incredible Maree Connor.
Maree Connor, welcome to Dirt Church Radio. The elusive Maree Connor, we've finally got her on Dirt Church Radio. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. About time we lined up our schedules.
I reckon. We've tried for quite a while. So doing a little bit of reading up for this, my jaw almost hit the floor the other day when I saw that you'd only started running in 2017. In the past 8 years, you've really been doing all the running.
Well, I don't know if you can say I started running in 2017 because I had spinal surgery and I didn't run until the first day of 2018.
Oh, 2018.
And I did a marathon in 2018, a local one.
Mm.
I didn't do my first ultra or 6 foot track was in March of 2019. So.
Wow.
Spinal surgery?
Oh yeah, I don't remember having a specific injury, but my flexibility and everything deteriorated quite rapidly in about a 3-month period during 2017. And I tried everything I could think of from Eastern and Western medicine until it led to a spinal surgery. So yeah, tried massage and chiropractor and acupuncture and lots of medications and nothing worked. And eventually I had some CT guided steroids, which also didn't work. Injected into my spine, and then I went under the knife and had a surgery. It went through the front. And
the front?
Yeah, it was a long surgery actually. And they fused 2 of my bones together down in my lower back. And then I started walking around the park to sort of get some fitness back after that. It's an interesting story.
I mean, was it a sort of a eureka moment when someone finally decided, okay, let's get in there, let's get the scalpels out? I mean, was it you asking for that, or was that offered?
Well, actually, the surgeon that I went for an opinion to see if there was anything I could do non-surgically, and he's very, I can't think of the word. Sorry, he doesn't do a lot of surgery, and he usually offers people other things like the CT guided steroids, or he says lose some weight, or he says go and do physio or something else. And he's usually quite reluctant to do surgery. And as soon as I met him, he said to me, "I think I can't ask you to do any more than what you've done for yourself. I think you actually need surgery." But I put it off for 3 months. And in that time, my mental health fairly well deteriorated because life was not worth living. I could not do anything. I couldn't pick my child out of her cot. She was just 1 at the time, and I couldn't bend over. I used to sort of shimmy to the side when she was crying and grab her by the back of the clothes and sort of pull her up to try and get her. But I was fairly rigid through the back, and it was heartbreaking at the time. So eventually I knew what I needed to do.
And there wasn't a single moment that you think caused this. This was just a general deterioration.
I think so. I think I'm a nurse, and I've been a nurse at that stage for nearly 20 years. So I don't remember doing anything bad or wrong, but I guess it's a accumulation.
And the surgery was a fusing of 2 bones. And are we talking instant relief? Like, was it? Are you cured? Shall we say? Is that the right word?
He did say to me, it looks like I need dual levels, and he only did the single level at the time, but he said eventually I guess you'll need the next level because it was starting to, so the level that I had done, the bones were breaking down and rubbing bone on bone. There was no disc or anything in the space. And he did say that the level above was very similar but looked like it had some time. So I knew probably 10 days after the surgery, I lay around and did not a lot of anything. And after about 10 days, I remember rolling over to get out of bed. And I remember smiling to myself sitting on the edge of the bed. I was like, I think this has worked. This is going to work. So I pretty well knew straight away, but I was really mindful not to do anything for about 6 months still. I just did yoga. That was it. And started walking around the park after 3 or 4 months. But yeah, I think I'm starting to get, I get a lot of pain. I get a lot of referred pain down my left leg specifically, but it does happen to both legs. And if I sit for more than an hour still, I can get that same nerve pain. So I have a feeling we're coming to the next level at some point.
Right.
Which vertebrae was it?
It's down near the sacrum. So it's L1, S5. So yeah.
Well, I didn't think we'd be kicking off with the hard stuff on this conversation, but here we are. Why not? I mean, you've what an 8 years though from that.
Yeah, yep. So that was September in 2017, and then I decided to have a run around my park. I actually had the pram, and I said to my husband, "If we can run around the park, it's a 1 mile loop. We can run around the park 3 times, which is 5Ks in 30 minutes. I'm going to train for a marathon." And I've told this story before in a different podcast, but I did make it in 29:59, and my pre-time was absolutely about 200. I was beetroot red in the face, and I was an absolute mess. And I pushed so hard, and I thought that was amazing, that 29:59 at the time.
But you obviously really wanted it to be 29:59 and at that effort.
No, I wanted it to be 22 at that effort.
Yeah,
I wanted 29:59 to be, zone 2, 130 beats per minute, but that was never going to happen.
But in your mind, though, you must have been going, I actually really want to train for that marathon.
Well, I wanted something. I'd gone from being an able-bodied and relatively fit and active person to having 6 months of almost a chronic pain type, where I was not nice to be around. It was horrible. I was angry and short-tempered, and, to roll over in bed, I would wear jeans to bed so I could use the buckle belt holes to pull myself over. Otherwise, I'd be stuck lying flat on my back, and it was not a great existence. I was angry at everybody. So I think knowing that I had then this second chance to, I don't know, be better or try again or use the body more wisely, perhaps, I knew I needed to do something, and that was just my first goal.
So I'm laughing because you're saying use the body more wisely, and most people would look at the things that you've done and be like, Maree.
Looking at the results list here.
Is that wisely? So I've put down, because I was just like, oh my God, I'm in absolute shock. And now you're saying 2019 is when you did your first marathon, is that right?
Well, I did 6 foot track. It's 45Ks in March of 2019, and I did the Melbourne Marathon in 2018, October 2018.
Yeah.
And a local marathon here in the June. So basically from the day that I did that 5K, 6 months later I did a local marathon here in Newcastle, and then in October I did another marathon, and then after that I did 6 foot track.
So you went from your half-hour 5K to what was your first marathon time?
You do not want to know.
Yes, I do. I know you remember.
Of course, we all remember that.
Yeah, yep. I just want to know if it was faster than my first marathon time.
Probably not. Well, actually, I lie, because in 2013 I did attempt a marathon, at the same one, October 2013, so many years before. I didn't train properly, and I wouldn't call myself a runner. I don't believe this is part of my running journey, but I guess maybe you need to say it was. I went and did the Melbourne Marathon in October 2013 in nearly 5 hours. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, you sound a bit like the modern day influencer, no training, do a marathon, isn't that what they're all doing? That's what all the cool kids are doing.
I was training for it because I've never been taught how to run, and I'm not very talented as a runner, but I have a lot of grit, which is why I don't give up, and I don't. So if you've ever watched a video of me running, it's not good. It's a bit of a shuffle. I'm pretty sure I've seen one or two of them and try not to make sure anyone ever sees that.
I think it's like people hearing the sound of their own voice recorded or something like that. It's like watching yourself run. You're like, oh, is that what I look like? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't like myself recorded either, so I don't know if I'll listen back to this
That's
one.
right. I'll make you sound amazing. You'll be fine.
Thank you. No, you're good for something.
You're going to be good for something. You're very humble though, Maree, because you clearly are a very talented runner. Yeah, as Ellie was saying, there's this list of achievements. I'll shut up and let Ellie go through it actually because it's impressive.
When I was looking at it, I was just like, I can't believe she started so like recent, really, with all the stuff that's here. So UTA 100, 2019 and 2021, 6 foot track, 2 lots of them, elephant 100 mile, which is like, that's a really technical, tough 100
What is that? I've never heard of that.
It's
It's the central coast up from Newcastle, and it's actually for the miler. I think it's 9,000 elevation, and it is not runnable.
Whoa.
It is hectic. Yeah, that
Okay.
was my first miler. I don't know why I chose.
When I was looking at it, I was going, she chose that as her first 100-mile race. Like, oh. And then on to Brisbane Trail Ultra 100 miles. She's done Lakes 100, Coast to Cozzy twice,
Woo.
Badwater.
Times Coast to Cozzy.
What's that?
I've done Coast to Cozzy 3 times.
Oh, 3 times. Oh, my
Just happened to have won it twice.
One or twice.
Oh,
yeah.
that's where and that's what I was going to say too, is all of these, I think there's a lot of like wins in here that I haven't even mentioned because I was just like, I'm just going to go through the list of the
There's a lot of winning.
races.
Just assume there's a lot of winning
Yeah,
in all this.
basically she's won them.
Well, it's easy to win when no one else turns up, and I'm just
Oh man,
Don't believe it
I
for a
thought the
second.
Kiwis were supposed to be the humble ones. What's this?
Badwater, 3rd female in 27:49. Spartathlon, 246 Ks in 31 hours. Broke the women's 40 Australian record with a distance of 232.135 Ks in the 24-hour track race. Captained the Australian track 24-hour team, and recently have just run and won West Max Monster, which I think is 230 Ks. Is that right?
yeah.
So that's just amazing. Like, people dream of doing that in their lifetime, and this has all happened since 2019. Like, looking
Quite
at
the
that,
resume, isn't it?
yeah, and thinking about, like you're talking about the beginning, the kind of catalyst for getting into running. Do you feel like, and with kind of going like, I'm feeling this deterioration in my spine, are you just like, let me at it, I want to do all the things, like charge while I can, or what's the motivation there?
No, you know what? I just try and find one big race a year. So, as I said before, which you've tried to tell me is not true, I don't actually have a lot of talent as a runner. But what I do have is like determination, and so
You're going to make everybody angry, Maree. Stop saying that.
You'll get cancelled.
I just keep going, and I think instead of finding a reason to stop, I just keep going. And what I learned was I'm not fast, and what I make up for lack of talent, I have, this determination where I'll just keep going. So when I did the UTA 100, I did do reasonably well with that one. I think it was just under 13 hours, 12:50 something. Like, I came 7th, so I know, and I was the first lady over 40, and that's when I was like, 100's pretty good. And then I found a bit longer, and and I realised that I prefer the longer stuff because I don't have to sit on the red line the whole time, because for me to run fast is really, really tough, whereas I enjoy the journey of running a bit slower and being able to go a bit longer. And so I sort of decided that I would put a long run in every year and give myself something to work towards. And then when I found Coast to Cozzy the first year, 2020 was the first year I ran that race, and I had no expectation going into there. I'd only done 1 miler before that. I didn't know how the heck they let me on the start line. And I'm so grateful that they gave me a chance to prove myself, because I think without that start, I don't know if I would be where I am, because it gave me the self-belief that I can do hard things. And it also made me realise that the only limitation you have is the one you place on yourself. And so doing 240, which before I left the start line of that race, I thought, how the heck is this going to happen? And how long is this going to take me? I know I've got 40 something hours, so I'll just do my best. And I had no idea where anybody else was the whole race, and I just ran my own race. And doing my first year in 33, I thought, oh, wow, you know, that's not too bad. Maybe we can try something else. And so when I morphed over to the track was because there hadn't been a lot of high qualifiers in the Australian team for a couple of years. I think nothing over 200. And I thought, oh, maybe if I can just run 200 kilometres, I'll be able to try this and be able to represent my country. How amazing would that be? And yeah, that's how I kind of morphed across from trail over into the track space. And then obviously my love is to stay with the trails because it's just more exciting, perhaps. And then, yeah, so I'm sort of doing a bit of the both. But anyway, to answer your question, I just try to find one long thing a year where I can go and make a journey out of it or make something that I will remember, because the memories are made on the weekends or when you do the hard things. And they're the things, I guess, when I get to the end of my life, I'll say, I remember that and that was fun. Or I remember that and it hurt at the time, but looking back, it was fun. I don't know.
How good doing Coast to Cosy is your first sort of super long.
I can't believe they let me start. It's
kind of a nice hybrid too. Like you talk about your love of trail, but also, you know, you're clearly very good on the track. It's a little bit of a hybrid of both, isn't it? I know it's predominantly road, but you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, so it's sort of got a trail vibe to it. I know that's a loose thread I'm trying to pull together there, but I do think it has that is one of the biggest draws of it, is that you're on a relatively easy, straightforward tarmac, but you're going on a huge adventure, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, because at the end of the day, there's not a lot of aid stations and you're out there on your own. So it really is a mental toughness that's going to get you through that race. And with trail running, there's a lot of aid stations and they're relatively close together. Like you have a lot of support out there and you have volunteers and everybody around. But Coast to Cosy is this race where you go from A to B and it's you and your crew, and it's you who's got to get you there, and no one else is, going to get you there. You have to do it. So I guess so, yeah, which is maybe why I was reasonably good at trying the track for the first time. And would you believe the first time I actually went onto the track was in 2021, when I went to try for a qualifier for the team, was the first time I stepped onto a track was that race. I was like, oh, this is soft.
No way.
This is soft. This is why people train on this surface. This is great. Much better than concrete.
God.
So I still maintain that I've actually only stood on a track 6 times. So
Yeah, just for quite some time each time.
yeah.
Well, what track were you on? Where were you?
It was Steve Redfern's race in southern Sydney, 2021.
The Campbelltown track or England?
It was Spartan Ridge.
Oh, yeah, the one. Yeah.
Yeah, the orange one.
Yeah, not the blue one, the orange one. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a couple of Kiwis there. Met my friend James for the first time there.
Yeah. Are you, it's just so I don't forget to ask, are you crewing James at Badwater or no?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't able to take the time away from the family and work this time, but it would have been it will be a great adventure. He's actually using one of my crew when he came to crew me at Badwater.
Oh.
One of the crew that I had on my team, he's using one of those. So he's got a friend of his, one of my crew, and Carol. So he's going to have a great team and he'll have a great race over there.
That's our fellow homie, James Inwood, down there is he the White at Upper? Wellington?
He is White at Upper,
Yeah. White at Upper represent running Badwater for the first time this year.
Yeah.
And Maree, you have run Badwater once?
Just once.
Once?
Yeah.
Has he hit you up every day with questions?
He tries to, but unfortunately I've been so busy. He's like, what are we chatting? I'm doing my heat training, and what did you do with this? But, he's got a lot of his own thoughts, and we did do a lot of brief talking about it when I was going through it. He was sort of my right-hand man helping me out with that anyway. So he has all the skill. He'll be right.
One of our Dunedin runners, Glenn Sutton, he got a heat chamber built, and he put a treadmill inside a heat box in his garage or something like that. Did you do anything like that for your Badwater experience?
No, but I've got a lady who has been my massage therapist now for 10 years, and she has an infrared sauna in her work environment. And she said to me, I'll let you use it whenever you like. So whenever I started heat training for that and put my protocol together, she just let me come and go as I please, which was great. So, and she did. do that again for me when I went to Spartathlon. I didn't do the same protocol, but I did do a shorter, smaller version going over for Greece with the heat. Yes.
And for Badwater, how did it help? Like, how was it? How did you cope with the 50-degree days?
Oh, absolutely, it helped. Martin Fry, my coach for that race, helped me write a protocol. But basically, he's a scientist as well, and I like the science side of things. And we did a lot of research. And basically, the heat adaptation is best done in the last 3 weeks. It takes 3 weeks to have peak effect. And if you try before that, there's a fine line between overheating and doing too much that you become tired and you're not recovering properly. So the best thing is to not start your heat adaptation too early. And when you do it, keep it and sort of ramp up a little bit. And it's counterintuitive too, because when I first started it, so about 3 weeks worth, and it peaks about 10 to 15 days. And then you lose it by about 6 or 7 days. So we finished within 3 or 4 days of flying overseas and then getting straight up to Death Valley. So I still had peak probably adaptations going on when I got there. But when I first started the heat training, I thought, it must be that you want to sweat less. So, so I started and I'd get sweaty after about 15 or 20 minutes. And then as I was going, I was getting sweaty after about 5 or 10 minutes. And I talked to Martin. I was like, what's happening? I'm sweating early. This is not so good. And he said, well, that's exactly. You're not training your body to not sweat. You're training your body to switch on its sweat.
Because that's a cooling effect.
Yeah. And so the way the body cools itself down is actually through evaporation. So you actually want to sweat earlier so it can evaporate, which cools the skin, which cools the body. So it's really, I really liked the science behind it, and it was an excellent learning process for me. And I've been able to apply it in a lot of different settings now with my running. So,
That's super cool.
Yeah, it is.
What drew you to Badwater?
Yeah, good question.
It's no judgment.
Right. David Goggins.
Seriously?
Is that a real answer?
No, I just kind of. No, Nikki.
Sorry,
Wynn.
you're breaking up. Okay.
I can understand why I'm breaking up.
No, go on, please.
Nikki Wynn she's an Australian runner, and she's someone I take a lot of inspiration for. She's gone twice and she'd won it once. She was also a member of the Australian team before I was too. She was the captain for a few years before. She's an excellent Australian runner. Anyway, I always followed her, and I remember seeing something about David Goggins or reading his book. I can't remember how it worked out. And he was talking about this race, and I thought, So I just did a bit of research in it and then realised that I could potentially apply. I had a few qualifiers to get myself in there, and I was accepted. So that I don't know, it kind of all came around really quickly. But it was an excellent experience.
I can see you being a bit of a carry the boats person. I can see it.
Maree would so carry the boats.
Did I understand there's an ex-military background with you? Is that correct? Or do we not talk about band camp?
I've got a couple of military members or ex-military members in my family as well. So it's we talk quite decisively.
Yeah. I have no time for small talk.
I said to you before, Andy, too, my dad's Dutch too, so we all talk very decisively and we don't fluff around with anything. And I think in this day and age, unfortunately, a lot of people can't cope with that. So I try not to talk to anyone to keep myself out of trouble.
I feel like there's a short adjustment period when someone meets you, and then we figure it out and everything's fine.
Yeah, I think I'm quite intense, and a lot of people, yeah. I'll leave it.
Brilliant. Can I talk about Westmax Monster? Because obviously you've just finished it. How was it? We both know Stephen. He did it a few years ago and was waxing lyrical about it, and what an incredible adventure it was. Did you find the same?
Absolutely. And, I reached out to Stephen a couple of times for his insight and takes on what to expect. It is an amazing place. There is no place on earth like the country out there, the Westmax. So 10 years ago, I went and visited a friend of mine who lived out there, and I'd just had my baby, and she was 6 weeks old. I travelled out there just to visit, and she took me to all of these gorges and places which I'd never even heard of, which is a little bit embarrassing considering I'm from this country. And some of the views and the places that she took me were absolutely amazing. And she knew that this was, I like hiking and I like different sorts of things. And this was such an eye opener for me. And I remember telling her, one day I'm going to come back here and I'm going to do this Larapinta Trail.
Oh.
Yeah, as little did I realize 10 years later I would come out and run it or try
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, one
Something I would love to return to do as a multi-day and potentially take my children.
Oh, wow.
I need to wait till they're a little less whingy, but
Newsflash, I don't know if that's kept happening.
well, mine are pretty good, but they sometimes my leg hurts and I say it's 400 meters to school. Okay. I don't know if 230 would be that much fun with them until there's a little less whinging, but that eventually I guess would be a goal for me or something that I would love to do with them, with the family.
Can you describe, I mean, obviously I'm going to say it's in the middle of Australia. Can you describe a bit more accurately where the race takes place?
Well, you did right. It is in the middle of Australia because you can fly into Alice Springs, and from Alice Springs, the Larapinta Trail actually starts just out of town at the telegraph station, which is about 5K out of Alice Springs, and it travels west for 220 kilometres. And at the end of the trail, so there's 12 sections, and at the end of the trail, there's Mount Sonder, and that's the 12th section is up and down Mount Sonder. The race that I was just part of, the West Max Monster, it actually starts at the Mount Sonder end, and instead you then travel east back towards Alice Springs, which is amazing because at night at some of the points you're high enough that you can see the lights, the glove of town. As it's so pretty. But so yeah, you started at 9 o'clock in the morning and you traverse straight up the top to Mount Sonder and then back down. So it's 8 Ks up and 8 Ks down, 16 kilometres. That section. It's not a lot of elevation. It's only 700 or 800. And then from there you travel east and back till you go across the sections back into Alice Springs. They give you 60 hours to do it.
I think the thing that surprised me the most was looking at the photos because obviously, in a layman's point of view, the middle of Australia is just a barren desert. There's nothing there, and yet I was looking at the photos and there's so much more than that, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're a great photographer. I see all your stuff, Andy, but it's so picturesque. You would just love it out there. You think it's going to be flat too, hey? Like you just think all the desert, it's going to be flat.
I thought there was just Ayers Rock. That's it. I thought that's all there was.
So did I until I went there. Yeah. But no, these ranges, they are humongous. And when you're standing at the top of some of the points, you can actually, it is so crystal clear, you can actually look back 30 or 40 kilometres and see where you've come from. And a couple of times I stopped and I turned around and had a look and I thought, I can see exactly where we've come from because, it's amazing. It's such amazing. You do travel up and down through the gorges and a lot of it's very technical. I knew it would be technical when I was talking to Steve about that. He did say it's quite technical. And so
uneven rock sort of technical?
Yeah, and just like shaly underfoot and there's so much rocks and it's so technical that it's almost not runnable in most sections. But you can rock hop pretty quickly if you don't take your eyes off the floor. But, you want to be able to look up as well. But as soon as you look up, you'll just fall over. It's a kind of it was so beautiful. I can't rave about this enough. I would definitely need to go back and just look at it slowly. And the sections that I did at night, I would love to redo in the daytime.
Is it one of those rare races where you get to the end and you're sad that it's finished?
Almost. Other than the fact that I was so tired because we'd gone into the third day, but almost, yeah, definitely. I wish I'd had an extra week either before or after to then go back and really just take stock of what we just did or what we're about to do and see the place a bit more.
Okay, we'll put that one back on your bucket list. But I would love to go. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think I would love to go again, but again, not in a race conditions, just to see it and do it. Yeah, it sort of came up opportunistically because I didn't think I would be racing anything this year until the end of the year. And I'd been on holidays. The family and I went to Europe for 3 months. And by the time I came back, I thought, oh, shit, I've sort of left it a bit too late to put a race on the calendar. And then I remember thinking that I'd always wanted to do this race. And then I thought, oh, maybe this is the year because I did Badwater in Badwater in 2023 and then Spartathlon in 2024. And I thought, what can I do this year that's not overseas? And I thought, well, it's the similar distance. Perhaps I could try this race. And then when I saw that it was early May, I thought to myself, gee, it's a big ask if I'm going to put, 12 weeks together from not running and having 3 months off to try and get myself to a position to be able to run, this race. But it happened.
It happened. And are we talking, like, as far as your back's concerned, the whole time, are we pain free?
So actually I just did a survey with my specialist as a follow-up. They just sent out something, someone's doing a PhD on it. But I would probably say that I would sit at 2 to 3 out of 10 at all times. Okay. And I can live with that.
Yeah. A lot of runners will say, that sounds pretty good. I'm okay with that.
Not including the stiffness in the legs, but I just have a decreased range of movement. Like to bend down and tie my shoelaces, I kind of have to grab my legs up behind my knees and put them up on the step or whatever to I can't actually lift those up. But I don't know if that is just like most runners. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes. Coach Ellie, what do you think? Would you, if a runner was running in 3 out of 10 pain, have you got any advice for them?
Well, generally they'll say under 3 is okay, and once you're kind of getting to 4, then that's
there you go.
That's when you dial things back. So it sounds like Maree's okay.
It's a seal of approval.
Yeah, and I don't mean to sandbag. Like, obviously, I can still do everything I need to do. I just have to grip my teeth a bit more these days. That's all. And eventually, I'll need to do something about it. But while I don't have to, I'll continue to do the best that I can.
Right, and you said until the end of the year. Does that mean you've put your name in the hat for C2K, or is that something else?
Oh, no, I'm hoping to go to the World Champs in October.
Oh, of course, yes.
So I do still have an A qualifier that goes across from the World Champs in 2023. So essentially have a qualifier and therefore make the team. So, if that's to come into fruition, that'll be my October plan.
Yeah, to the beautiful town of Alby.
Yeah. Have you been there?
Yeah, I was at the 2019 one.
That's right.
And it is incredible. It's an absolutely beautiful place. Except, of course, the course itself, which is super boring, and it's a running track and a concrete path around a football field. So, but the rest of the town is amazing.
But at least it's not 400 metres, so we get to share it out on. Is it 2K? I don't know.
Yes, 1.5 or 2, somewhere in there.
Yes,
yeah, but there is a running track involved. You go in and out of the running track. Yeah.
Ellie, you going to sign up to be crew for the for the New Zealand team? Or?
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it? I did.
No, it's not. It's not good being crew for this.
You have to be awake, but you don't have to keep running for 24 hours straight. And you need to have some good hype. So that's a great job for Ellie.
I can definitely bring that. And I mean, about crew.
You can wear some green and gold and come be on our crew.
Okay, deal. I'll just be hybrid.
We tend to put our tents at the opposite ends. We keep as far away from the filthy Aussies as possible.
We do not. You start with N and we start with A. They put us separately.
I like my story better.
Plus, imagine if we were side by side. The banter would be so good.
Horrendous.
Thinking about crew, though, you've chosen races that require crew for quite a few, like how important is a good crew, and what's your kind of prep with them, and what difference do they make to your races?
I think the crew is everything, and you'll both probably agree with me that we can't do this without crew, the runners. Everything, as soon as you do something long and intense like this, it really comes down to who's supporting you to do it. And I guess for me, my crew is not only my husband at home with the kids and his parents who travel, or my parents who will travel to support him so that he can support me, and then finding people to come with me to support me. So it takes a village, and I'm always the first to recognise that. For me, it really is everybody who puts their hands up to help, because it can be quite thankless at times too, when you're a couple of days deep with no sleep and you don't get to walk home with a trophy, but I do. I think I'm really lucky. I have a huge family, and I have 4 brothers and sisters.
Oh my goodness!
And parents and probably in the last 5 or 6 years, at least one of them at each time has put their hands up to crew me and have travelled with me to do that. So I'm really lucky.
Wow, That's quite jealous all of a sudden. That's so cool.
And I don't have to pay them, and they do it out of love, which is so nice. And I don't know if anyone else could really put up with me for that long. So they kind of have to.
That's the beauty of family, right? Like you can just be your purest self and you know they're going to keep loving you.
Yeah, well, I remember I said to my dad, because my dad came out to Alice Springs, and I said to him, "You're going to see me at my worst, and when you do, you just need to smile and say, 'Gee, you look so great.'"
Did he?
He did.
He didn't have a horrified look on his face and a blank stare.
He actually came and drove the car for me at my last Coast to Cozzy, and that was the first time he'd been involved in any of it. My sister, who always cruised me for Coast to Cozzy, she said, "Oh, I think it would be nice if I had someone to come and drive for me to take the pressure off so that I can focus on you." And I said, yeah, we'll get Dad. So Dad came down and did that. And there was one point after the boom gates from Jindabyne as we were heading up to Perisher. And on the last Coast to Cozzy I did, which was 2022, I was struggling a lot with my gut at the time. I've since found out I'm lactose intolerant and fixed that problem.
Yeah.
But that time there was a lot going on, and I remember at one point I was almost to tears with how horrible I felt. And my dad got out of the car, and I saw him out of the corner of my eye. And his face just said everything to me. He was almost in tears, and he was sort of gave the face of, "Oh, I can't believe you're doing that. That's my child. That's, you know."
Oh,
and
no.
I almost fell apart from that, and I cried after that. And then I'd said to him after the race, you can't do that to me, because I'm doing the best that I can to hold myself together. And if I see you and you're not holding yourself together, that doesn't work. We've still got, 30 Ks to run, and I'm not going to not go. Like, I had to give him a very good pep talk about that. And thankfully he.
What I like is exactly how you've just worded that. I'm sure is exactly how you worded it. Like just as direct.
Picture it happening.
Yeah, I can actually see it. Yeah.
Don't worry, my dad's just like me. He's also direct and appreciates being, advised.
You know how most parents say, like, if you ever need me in those wee small hours, I'll be there for you. That I think they're more meaning, like if you're having a big night out, I'll come and pick you up to keep you safe.
No, I think they love being involved. My mum just came down and stayed here while Rob, my husband, came with me when we went to Greece for a couple of weeks last year. So they love being involved in some way.
That's so good.
And if they don't, they pretend they do. So
you've got kids, right? Do they ever come and see you, or?
Because everything's away, not really. They did when they were little. I went and did the Hounslow, and they were there for the weekend, and it was a race down in the Blue Mountains. And last year I did Lakes 100, and we stayed up there for the weekend and made a weekend out of it, and they were there for that.
Oh,
so
cool.
And they crossed the finish line with me, which is lovely. But because everything's away, I would love to have them there. But they're, I think also. Thanks, Andy. Now I feel like I have to watch what I say. Also,
Please
when
don't.
I go away to race, it's business. Not business, but I don't want to, because I'm a little bit competitive, I'm not going there to hang out with the kids at the aid station. I'm going to be in and out and so on. So I feel like as much as I love them, I would just be distracted with focusing on what I'm doing that I wouldn't give them the love and attention they would require. So
I think you're in safe ground there. I think a lot of parents, including myself, I feel the same way. Like when you're focused on a race, having to worry about are the kids okay on the trip, like if they doing things, are they entertained or whatever, like I always have that sort of, you're out on a race for hours and hours, so you got a lot of time to think. And I much prefer not worrying about any of that. If they're at home, they're doing their thing, whatever, and I'll see them when I get home. But knowing they're in the same vicinity, I find quite distracting. And especially if the race is going badly, you're kind of like, oh, maybe I'll just go hang out with the kids. Like, that'll be more fun than going up this next bloody hill when I'm feeling a bit rubbish. But if you're the only person there, you're going to go up that hill. It's that's me.
That's exactly how I feel about it. Because I almost went to Westmax without a crew as well, because half of me thought, well, this is an adventure that I want to do. I want to be present and be focused on myself and the world around me at the time. I want to, look up and take all my photos and not have to be kept on a time limit by other people. And then, you know, I realized that it would probably be easier and better if I took other people to keep an eye on me if I got too tired. But, you know, I find the same. And my husband crewed me for the first time in Greece last year, and I was a little bit distracted worrying about was he okay?
Yep.
And he knows me well, and I have nothing to worry about. He was excellent to crew me, but, you know, a few times I was like, I hope he knows, you know, what my gear is, or, you know, and I trust him 100%. But yeah, it was a little bit distracting in that sense. But he's good. He tends not to put his hand up, and he'll stay home with the kids so that he knows that when I go away, I just do what I'm doing and then come home and enjoy my family time after the race. So.
Ultramarathons walk this odd line between it's not a team sport, but it sort of needs a team. You know, an individual sport that needs a team. So it's somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
So talk to us about Spartathlon, because I'm curious, you know, like we don't really hear of many people going from our neck of the woods. So yeah,
Kim Allen did it recently.
Yeah, Kim did it the same year as me. She did it 10 years before that.
That's right.
So Kiwi Kim Allen, this is. And then her and I were and John Yoon we were the 3 Australian New Zealanders for 2024. So that was nice. But yeah, it's.
I'd like to go to that party. That's 3 very cool people.
You mean Kim and John?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, it's two cool people in Maree. There you go. Yeah.
You should do that race actually, Andy. You've won heaps of really cool races. You should put your hand up for that one.
Look, I'm not sure about that first half. It just sounds like a whole bunch of pollution and noisy cars and trucks.
It is, and it's also really, really hard, tough cutoffs. Like you've got to get to the 80K marker in 10 hours, I think. Like you cannot muck around.
Ooh, yeah.
But I think they do that on purpose to get everyone out of the city.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like the attrition rate is so high. I think we had 50% attrition for our race that we were there. And I believe that's relatively standard for them. So they allowed 400 runners in total to start. You start.
And you've got to be pretty good just to make the start line, don't you?
Yeah. So there is a little bit of a loophole which Australian and New Zealanders would have a bit of a way through, is that if you're the only person from your country applying, you automatically get in.
That's the Tour de Gens thing, where 2 people, isn't it? And for Tour de Gens.
Which I'd like to do that one day too. That's something.
Okay, so there is a loophole, right.
But yeah, so for Spartathlon, and so I just thought, no one's talking about this race. I'm gonna have a go at this one. It was actually Martin Fryer who suggested that I'd be good at a race like that, which put it on my radar. And then I started Googling, and anyway, little did I realise that John had also applied. But we both had
bloody John.
I
we
know.
don't like him anymore now. No, wait, go on.
No, we do. He was my pacer at West Max. I owe him a lot.
Oh, wicked. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. We both had qualifiers coming out of World Champs in 2023, and I also had Badwater as a qualifier. So I had double qualified without having to do anything other than put my application in. So that was really good. But you run from Athens down to Sparta. So the original story goes that when there was the Battle of Marathon, they ran down to Sparta looking for extra help. And when they got down to Sparta, the locals said, we can't come today, we've got a party on the Moon Festival, so we'll wait till tomorrow or whatever it is. And then the next day, so that soldier ran back to let them know in Athens and then died when he got back, or something along the lines of that. I should know since I went and raced the race.
So is this Philip Phidippides or whatever his name is?
Yes, that's he.
Yeah, it's a bit more than that story that he just ran a marathon and died, eh? People like to perpetuate that one, but didn't he ran more like 500 Ks or something, didn't he?
Yeah, it was the Battle of Marathon that he went to recruit the assistants for, and he ran down and back, which is 246 each way.
Yeah.
So, and then apparently died on his return to Athens.
Allegedly.
Whatever the story is.
So you only have to go one direction, soft.
Yeah, you do. So you run from Athens to Sparta, and then there's a big party and a festival down in Sparta, and then you go back to Athens, and then there's a big party and a festival in Athens. Just perfect the way the Greeks like it.
Did they have to do, one of the lines I remember reading when I first ran C2K was they specifically put in a rule that says, no, you cannot run back to the coast afterwards. Have they had to do that with Spartathlon? It says, no, you can't run back to Athens afterwards? Such as the type A personalities of these runners.
No, but did they do that for Coast to Coast? Because I know people.
It was a rule. 2016 was the first year I ran it, and I remember reading that in there that said, no, you cannot run back to the start line.
Thought to yourself, who with their right mind would want to do that anyway?
Well, the fact they had to write it in there suggests that somebody asked.
Well, at Badwater, the year that I did it, someone ran to the finish line and then turned around and ran back. But Grant Morn, I don't know if you know him, an Aussie legend who lives in America. He has done the quad, I think. So he's done from the start of Badwater to the top of Mount Sydney, back to Badwater, to the top again, and then back.
What?
I know Harvey Lewis did the double last year, I think. So, yeah, there's a lot of crazy people.
Did this Grant fella do it as part of the race and then keep going? Or did you do it randomly?
No, I believe he did the race. He's gone in Badwater a couple of times. And this was after one race. He's done it.
And how do we think James is going to go? We rate his chances? Officially? I can edit it out.
Of course he'll do fine.
That was after she said you're gonna crash and burn, mate. I just chopped it out. No, I'm joking. Am I? I'm
Ellie,
joking.
you got my back, sis.
What's that?
You've got my back.
Yeah, I've got your back.
Andy throwing me under the bus. He has course experience. He may have been in the vehicle, but he's been there. He's seen the heat. When we were there, they took a photo for me. They did not tell me while I was out running. As we went through a place called Furnace Creek, which the name gives it away, they took a photo of the dashboard of the car that had 59 degrees. Part of my photos from my Badwater experience shows the car sitting at 59 degrees. So,
one of Dean Carnizzi's books, when he was running it, he said that you got to run on the white paint. Is that true? Did you find that was the case of the road?
I ran along it anyway. You don't have to. My shoes were pretty shredded up. I did have white shoes and white socks and all white clothes.
Yeah.
It is nice and cooling, but I'm sure you can run off the line.
Your shoes won't melt, eh? That did seem like an extreme thing to say, but maybe.
Perhaps back then, because he's done it a few times, because I've read the book too, and I know he did say his shoes were pretty munted at the end, but mine I wore them straight out of the box for that race, and they are pretty smooth underneath now. So whether the heat's...
Yeah, right. So they probably were melting. 200 and something K wouldn't do that normally, would it?
No. And there's no way I would have sat down on the road. Like, it was hot. Yeah.
God, you wonder how it holds together.
Yeah, you could feel the heat coming off it. So while we had hats and flappy hats and long sleeve and high necks and everything on, I had sunnies, and I was redoing the sun cream on my face probably every 2 hours, because the radiant heat coming off the road was ridiculous. So,
oh, super cool! Yeah, another one to add to the bucket list.
Yeah, you should add that to your bucket list.
Yeah, well, Northburn is a preferred qualifier.
Well, there you go.
How do they compare, Maree? Like Spartathlon, Badwater?
Actually, I think Spartathlon was harder. Okay. Perhaps because mentally I was really well prepared for the heat. I'd done very similar heat adaptations for both races, and mentally I knew that it got so hot that I would have to not complain about it. Like, I'd done a lot of, when it's hot, just think about being cool, or when it's hot, think about, drinking ice cold Coke, or when it's hot, think about being in an ice cold bath, or, I had done a lot of this to try and take my perceived effort down during the race. But when I did the heat adaptations going into Spain, I sort of did them not really as a piss take, but I sort of did it thinking, oh, well, it might be a bit warmer and this might just give me a bit of a competitive edge. And then I got there and the humidity was like 95%.
Yeah, gross.
And the difference between so it was only 30 to 35 degrees in Greece, but with that heavy humidity, it was like we'd been swimming in a pool. Yeah. So John and I ran together for the first 10 Ks. We just happened to be together and we were drenched sweat. And so if you think about that, the amount of fluid you'd need to take back into, or I guess that you're aware of, that you've got to take back in to replace that and the electrolytes. Whereas Badwater, I was probably sweating just as much, but because there's next to no humidity, you don't realise you're sweating, so it's quite dry. And so the feeling of it actually didn't feel that hot. And because your skin's dry, you're not chafing everywhere, and it's quite a dry heat other than they sprayed me with a water bottle and I had ice around my neck. And they gave me ice in my flasks. And by the time I had it I think they were 500 ml flask, and probably within 5 to 10 minutes they were lukewarm water, even though they were just ice cubes when I got them. And then so I was putting it into my mouth, just sipping all the time to keep my mouth wet and my lips wet. And it was done probably every 5 or 10 minutes and they were replacing. So it was a tough gig from a crew point of view over there. But yeah, I would say Spartathlon was harder because everything was sopping wet that you just, those races where it's just humid and wet, I guess like hot rain. I don't know. Like it was uncomfortable. And I didn't mentally plan for it. And I didn't mentally plan to be out on day 2 for that too. So I felt the second day was equally as hot. And because I'd sort of expected I wanted to come in sub 30.
Yeah, you did well, but I understand your personal expectations were higher than how you did. Is that correct?
Yeah, I still did relatively well. I came 9th female, and like I said before, the attrition rate at 50%. I still came in 400 starters, and I still came in 43rd. So I still did quite well in the race. If you compare me to other people, I try not to compare to others. I try to just stick with what I think I can do, and then try and punch a process or a goal that's slightly outside my comfort zone. Which is why I most of the time walk away going, well, damn it, I didn't get what I want. But at least it makes me try. But yeah, and when I came in, and it was just after lunchtime on the second day, and I thought I did not mentally prepare for this. I'd mentally prepared to come in early in the morning and not have to experience the heat. And so I sort of did myself a bit of a disservice there, not planning better for a race that wouldn't go as well. So
because that's hours of heat, isn't it? I mean, you're turning up at midday. Yeah. It's not just a couple of hours of a warm morning. I mean, you're getting right into the day there.
Yeah, and because we were in the middle of, we'd moved away from the coastline by that stage, and you're on the tarmac and you're up through the back of the rolling hills, and it was quite hot. And yeah, I remember complaining about it because I was running with a British runner who we just happened to link up together, and it was quite good having company, and sort of I would push on the hills up and then he would lead on the hills down because my quads were getting a bit damaged, but I was still hiking really well and running still up the hills. So we kind of used each other's strengths. And I remember I must have been not the best person to run with. I remember just saying to him so many times, I'm so hot. This is horrible. This is so hot. And he was like, it's okay. Like considering, he comes from a cloudy, wintry country, he just put up with me whinging.
I think it's very rude. You're the first ultra runner to ever complain about the heat. How dare you? I won't accept for every time I've complained about the heat.
Hey, we pay to do this stuff. I should not be complaining ever. It was my choice to go.
Is that one of your mantras? Are you paid to do this? How's that visualization during the hard times?
No, I don't use that one, but lately we choose to do this. Mm-hmm. We choose this suffering, and it's how you handle the suffering. That's what ultra running is. It's a series of suffering and problem solving, and how you choose to react to it or to respond to it is ultimately how you're going to get through things. Like so many times I've had gut issues like in the first couple of years until I realized that I need a dietary change. And then, after that it was, the head games, and it's just a matter of now, I just try to be quite pragmatic about it. And I think, well, when you were not tired before, you wanted to do this and this is what you wanted to do. So do you want to stick to the plan, or do you want to change plans and go, like you said before, stop and hang out with the kids? Or, you've got to really just say, what did I want to do? Or what did I set myself before I was tired? And why should I be making an excuse to change that now if nothing actually is going wrong? So.
Clarity of thought is often one of the hardest things.
It really is. It really is. And it takes a lot to master it. And it takes a lot to return your focus when you're tired. Like I find when I'm tired, I'll always choose the easiest path because who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Gets tough. Gets tough once you hit your second day. And even then, for me, that's the longest race I just did was 52 hours at Westmax. And that took a lot. Like I was like, wow, 3 days. But I learned a lot thinking, I came out pretty strong.
How much sleep during the race?
I tried a few times to sit down for a sleep.
Right.
Because at a couple of the aid stations, John had cooked up some food and they take 10 to 15 minutes to cook. So during that time we were waiting for that, I just shut my eyes and, put something over my head and shut my eyes. But I think I subconsciously absolutely let go and was able to switch off and not think about anything. But I do remember I could hear people. So I think I was still present. I slept, but I definitely relaxed and I was able to then get going after that. And I did that probably 3 or 4 times during the race.
Okay, so sort of a partial reset each time.
Yeah, I would have liked to have had, 20-minute nap. That was the plan, was to have a few sleeps. But
And what was
Never
your finishing time? I don't think it's written here.
Oh, would you believe 51:59? I had to fully the last K. I dropped a 5-minute K the last
Oh
K.
my goodness.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, and it hurt too. My brother was
Did it?
with
Huge surprise.
yeah.
my brother was with me. I'd taken no notice of the time because quite early in the race, I'd said to him, or he was crewing me. My brother and my dad came, and John Yoon. And I'd said to my brother early in the race, look, throw the time out that we know, let's just get this done and enjoy the adventure. And whatever will be, will be. I'll just keep moving and keep doing the best that I can. And when we hit Simpsons Gap, which was the last checkpoint to change crew, John had done an injury at this stage, and we'd pretty much limped in through the night at like 1 or 2 Ks an hour to get him to the checkpoint so I could get him relieved.
Wow. Okay.
I know, poor bugger. I hope he hasn't destroyed anything.
Okay.
He's still not back running.
Eey. Right.
Yeah, he did that for me too. Nice guy.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
so my brother met us. I'll go back to that after. My brother met us about a K out of the checkpoint. He sort of was saying, what do you need? And I said, you're coming out. John's got to come in. And we got into the aid station, and my brother was ready to go. And as we left the aid station at Simpsons Gap, we had 25 Ks to go. And, I wasn't even looking at the time. And at some point I saw the 1K marker and he said, oh, get a photo with this 1K marker. And I bent down and I was like signing it because it counts down as you go. It's like a purple. It's like
Oh, yes. Well, you're doing it in reverse, aren't you? So it's, yeah.
And it says it's 1K.
From the start, yeah.
And as soon as I said that, I remember sort of doing that with my photo, had a bit of a laugh at it. And then I looked at my watch, and my watch said 51:52. And I said to my brother, oh, I wonder if we can get in under 52 hours. And that was a really long kilometre. I know that was more.
Yeah, right. That wasn't okay. Of course
not. It was definitely not 1 kilometre, because I can tell you.
It was a trail kilometre.
Oh, it was a trail kilometre. I was moving, and I remember looking at my watch at one point, and I was doing 4:45, which is why I know that if at that, and there was no walking in that time at all. And then we hit the grass, and we rounded through the back of the telegraph station, and he said it was behind me. He's like 54, and I was still running, and he's like 55, and I said, we're not going to make it. He's like, no.
And you're all emotional, and you haven't slept.
And he goes, yeah, you are 50. 57. And I was like, oh my God, I want to swear. I want to tell you what I really said. And I knew that it went round the back of a car park down to the Todd River, and then went from the Todd River, it was another 500 metres into the finishing chute. And I was like, minutes. Like this is still, I know there's still over half a K to go, when we'd pretty much just travelled a K since the 1K marker. And I was fully legging it, and I dropped him and I just bolted through the finishing line. And when I looked at the end, it was like, 4:59, that last K. I was like, my quads were so heavy. I really fought for that. And I got in at 51, 59 and 14 seconds.
Oh, you had tons of time to spare.
Oh my God. Well, my watch said 42. So I
right.
had 15 seconds to spare, but the official time gave me an extra 20 seconds or whatever. So
it's always nice when that happens.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Like I actually didn't expect to make it in that time. It was pretty cool to get under 52 hours, which again was a long way off what I was initially hoping for.
What were you hoping for?
48 hours at least.
Yeah, okay.
But I think poor John, he did so well to stay with me.
So what's happened to our buddy John?
Yeah, well, he and I both were nursing sore calves going in. I'd given mine a really good rest and wasn't training on mine, knowing that I could probably do the pace that was required for this race without doing too much to it. And he was probably 2 weeks behind me with his.
Okay.
And so he did no running, did nothing. And he said, I'll still come, but I'll test it the morning you need me to come out and pace. And if it's no good, then we'll go from there. And I said to him, oh, John, I'm going to need a bit more buy-in from you. I need you to test it the day before, because I need to mentally prepare if I'm going to head into that 40-hour section by myself.
This is not how Maree Connor operates. I work on certainties.
Every type A friend needs a type B friend. So anyway, he went out for a jog after I'd started the race, and when I met him and my dad and my brother at the first aid station that afternoon, he said, I've done my test, my calf is great, I'm good to go. And I was like, oh, that's good, I'll see you tomorrow. So then I knew I had to get through the night, and then I would pick him up later. Anyway, so we were running along doing fine, and probably 24 hours into our stint together. We were to be together to about 30 something hours, I think. And
it's not your standard pacing job, is it?
No, poor bugger. He'd come from a sort of pain in the calf to knowing that he had to do 80 Ks with me. But anyway, we came out of one of the gorges, Stanley Chasm, and we went up 2 Ks up out of the top of this gorge and then across the top, and he hit a rock the wrong way. And straight away he screamed out loud and he said, I've done my ankle. And so we stopped and we sat for a bit and, had a bit of a flight or fight kind of high, take the pain away type breathing. And then we kind of hobbled on a little bit. And then a friend of mine called up, who's another runner from Newcastle, and he had his pacer. And I said to them, John's done his ankle. And his pacer said, they were like, right, let's stop, we'll strap it. So we strapped it. And I said, I'm going to hang out with you guys because if we need to leave John at the AidStation, I'm going to come along with you just through the night to get me in through the morning, because we were sort of right in the middle and there was nobody around at this stage. So about 180 or 190 Ks into the race. And then we got to one of the aid stations, I think it was about 2 a.m., and Matt and his pacer were with me, and we got there and they said, if John stops, if the pacer stops, the runner has to stop as well.
Oh no.
Yeah. And
wow.
I remember this conversation because half of me now thinks that's not the rules, because everyone should be able to drop your pacer.
Well, is the pacer mandatory at all?
No.
Right.
And so I've really had to think about it again since then, but it doesn't matter now. It's all done. It's all done. But I said to them, they said, we can't really let you go ahead if John stays here, if your pacer stays here. And I'm like, yeah, but I'll be with Matthew and his pacer. And they're like, yeah, no. So there was a lot of talk between the four of us because we're sort of convoying at the time. And I just pleaded to John. I was like, please don't make me stop. I fought really hard.
Oh my goodness.
Please don't make me stop. It's only 14 kilometres to Cincinnati.
Which would take how long?
That's a long way.
14 hours if he's going a K an hour.
Yeah.
It took us about 8 hours. And it was really tough, but I knew that I'd made a fair bit of time on the second female, and I knew that if we stopped and waited there for someone to extricate him, that I would lose all. So apparently they wanted me to wait for another runner. I remember it doesn't make sense to me now that I'm trying to put it together because I already had another runner with me.
Okay.
So I can't really put it together, but like I said, it doesn't matter because it's all done. But I pleaded with John, and he's so good. He just said, okay, let's go. And I said, I've got 2 Panadols here for you. I want you to take this Panadol and we'll limp all the way there. Whatever it needs, we'll go your pace. I didn't tell him at the time, but it was Panadol Extra.
I was going to say, you're a nurse. You only had Panadol.
John was reluctant to even take 1 Panadol, and I said, you need to take 2 because the minimum dose for anything out of Panadol is 2 tablets. So I need you to take 2 tablets. And then I handed him these 2, and I didn't tell him it was Panadol Extra, which has 130 milligrams of caffeine in it. Well, that's how we got to 2 Ks an hour.
Did he fashion a crutch or anything? Any sort of aid?
No, he's a fast walker anyway, coming from the 24-hour team, he knows how to hike fast, he can walk fast. And this was a relatively less technical section, I think you could say, out of what we'd come out of. Still bad, but not as bad. And so we were able to sort of move we were moving at about 2-ish Ks an hour.
And you just have to take the road of acceptance, don't you?
I did.
You just can't. You can't fight it and can't get angry about it, can you?
No,
you just accept.
And I knew that he was potentially putting himself on the line to keep going as well. So between us, we had a lot of respect for each other, and we just got to the checkpoint. We ended up getting in around about 8 a.m. and the original plan we had was to arrive there at 2 a.m. Yeah. So we were quite a ways behind, but we just had to, we did what it took to get there. So
is it possible that stretch where you took your time allowed you to have a little bit more in the tank for later? I'm just trying to put a positive spin on it.
Yeah, well, I put a positive anyway, because out of tough times, I think, come the best stories. Mm-hmm. And my friendship with John, we raced in Greece together anyway, and we've raced there and we've been on the Aussie team. He's just shows me exactly the kind of person who he is, and it's so nice to call him a friend. And, so there's a lot to come out of that. We had some good talks and time together. So,
and his parents live in Auckland, so he's an honorary Kiwi.
Yeah. And he's just an all-round good dude.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and so we don't know how he's recovered yet.
Yeah, well, I spoke to him yesterday and just checked in. So I've been checking in all the time, knowing full well that if he has any issues, it's probably related to helping me and putting me first before he. So I'm trying to do my best from a friendship point of view.
Have you bought him a beer?
I bought him a few after the. He's a kindred spirit in that sense.
Oh, goodness, that's certainly a story. Well done, both of you, really getting through all of that. That is a lot.
Yeah.
I got to ask, C2K or Badwater, if you had to pick one.
Again?
No, just if you had to pick a favourite.
Oh, C2K.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's because the race directors, Greg and Mickey, just make it feel like home. They certainly do a great job.
You mean the man with the unintelligible Scottish accent makes it feel like home? Okay, cool.
Mickey,
cool.
of course.
He's a legend. That's awesome.
I'm going to go with one. Well, we've got two last questions, but the one before the last question. You've tackled the absolute beasts of our sport. What about the most well-known long-distance ones like Western States, UTMB or Barclay?
Barclay is excellent to watch. I never want to do it. It's ridiculous. I follow it every year. I have a Twitter account specifically just to watch Keith Dunn. That doesn't interest me from a personal point of view, but very cool to be amongst the people who get there if you ever wanted to do it. I would love to consider Western States, probably not UTMB. I think there's too many people on the start line. I'd be too far down the back, and then I'd just be frustrated with being in a conga line, which I think is probably why I stay away from UTA these days as well. But yeah, Western States. Someone else said that to me recently, and it hasn't ever been on my radar. And I always follow it because I've watched some good Kiwis and Australians run that race in the past. So I do follow it every year. But I've never personally thought that I would be on the start line. Because I also don't go in any of the races that get the lottery for it. So I have no tickets.
Yeah. You're racing at LB2 and so's Maree.
No, I'm not going this year.
Oh, you're not going? Oh, okay.
I'm too scared. I'm too scared of getting
I was waiting
trounced.
for you to get your qualifier and come on over.
No, I've not put my
following you
name.
at the last race, Andy.
Yeah, no, the last race was a disaster, and the less said
What
about that,
happened?
the better. I don't know. I just can't get these ones right on a track.
Are you putting too much pressure on yourself, though?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how to. I can't figure out how to run them the way that works for me, if that makes any sense. I seem to have the right mentality when I'm running up a mountain, and I seem to have the wrong mentality when I'm running around a track, and I don't know what that is. And I keep thinking eventually, if I do this enough, I'll figure it out. But it still continues to elude me.
Yeah, I've watched you race a heap of races. I reckon I can tell you exactly what you need to do.
Ooh. Tell us, Maree, tell us.
Yeah, I'm all ears.
Oh, no, I actually think yours is just a mental game because you look very easy. At C2K last year, you were just like clicking along easy.
C2K went okay. I was happy enough with that. I mean, I wasn't a blindingly fast, but from where I'd come from, I consider that a good race. Like that was a successful race. I was really happy with the top 10 finish, etc., that sort of thing. No, it's more just the flat track seems to continue to cause issues. Like I just have so many new, almost every time I do it, there's a new issue. This one was extraordinary pain in my feet after only like 3 hours, and then I think there's, how you talk about it being a mental game, like the moment there's one thing wrong, there seems to be several others that also go wrong. And I wonder how much of that is because you sort of go into a little bit of a hole mentally and you're not holding your form correctly, or you're not, you had a plan for nutrition and now that's gone out the window, and it all cascades and suddenly you're 12 hours in and everything sucks. So, yeah. Anyway, it's not about me, this interview.
You lasted a long time. I watched you because I figured that's you're looking for a qualifier there. You did do really well. I think the problem with us with these 24 hours is that then if you commit to one, it takes a lot out of you mentally and physically, that that you have to go all in, right? And so then if something goes wrong and you can't go all in, it takes a time then to wait before you can try again. And we're all running out of time to get qualifiers and things. So there is a certain amount of pressure that we inadvertently have to place on ourselves to get ourselves in a position to represent the country and things like that. So I wonder, see, Coast to Cozzy you run out of love, whereas track, we don't love this stuff. We do it to get ourselves qualifiers to get to a certain point.
It's a lot tougher in
that's my
Australia
take.
too. Like the qualifying standards in Australia are very high, whereas New Zealand's a lot more like, oh, did you get top 3 in a 100-mile trail race? Oh yeah, we'll put you in. It is a lot more chill. So it wasn't so much a qualifier for me, which is why I don't even have that.
I would have loved to see you there.
Yeah. It's a bridge too far this year, but that's okay. Might see you in Japan next year.
Yeah, well, that just got named for May, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll see because I have openly sprouted to my friends and family that if I can get the goal that I'm looking for in France this year, that'll be my last and only. So,
what's the goal, Maree? Put it out there.
Well, it's the same goal that I had previously that I couldn't get. So when we went Asian Champs in last year in Canberra, I did want to run 240, which is 10 Ks an hour every hour for 24 hours. And again,
sounds easy, right?
Sounds so easy. And when I break it down, I ran 232 nearly 18 months ago. This is only a park run more. Like, come on, how come I can't do it? So to get myself to that and to run 240 would be excellent. And anything less than that is amazing, but I probably won't try again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to. It's such a time commitment because it's also a different type of running. For me, I do like running on the trails and running in the bush, and it's a bit slower pace. I'm pretty slow, but that's how I like it. And so getting onto a track and being monotonous and sticking to a plan, that's less what I'm good at. But I mean, I'm sort of half mastering it.
Yeah, sorry, we forgot that you're a slow, terrible runner after everything we've been talking. I forgot that.
We needed to add that in there, eh?
Yeah. That'll be the headline of that. That's what we'll call the episode.
Say terrible. Did I say terrible?
I'm sure that word was in there somewhere. We recorded it.
Terrible.
Maree Connor, the slow, terrible runner. That's what we're going to call the episode.
Do it. I don't mind.
No, I don't think you would.
We better crack on with a question that we ask everybody that comes on Dirt Church Radio, and that is, Maree Connor, what is your greatest run ever?
After all of that we just spoke about, my greatest run is going to be World Champs in 2023.
Oh.
And
in Taiwan. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's one that I dug really, really deep for and knew exactly what I was trying to do, even though my plan wasn't 240 there, even though it was in the back of my head if I got lucky. I didn't set out fast enough, so I knew it was never coming. But what I wanted to do was to break the 40 to 45 age group record, which was 230 on the dot. So all I wanted to do was run at least 230, and if I could get to 240, that would have been great. And I had no music, no headphones the entire race. It was a little bit steamy. It was a little bit rainy. It was around a concrete path, and which is what I train on at home. So that was kind of perfect for me. But I also went in, I'd met my crew only the day before and so he didn't know me very well and sort of didn't really understand that know me very well. And so I knew that this was 100% me bringing me to the table, because every race I'd done before that, my sister was there who was able to crew for me, and she basically propped me up always with her excellent talks and her excellent motivation and her excellent personality. Whereas I knew that I was going into another country almost isolated, and everything that would come out of that race would be the effort that I put in or the attitude of which I ran with. And I had a couple of phrases that I said around that path. Andy, you were there, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I was enjoying that concrete path, yeah.
There was a couple of places, looking back, I still smile every time I think about it, which is ridiculous because there wasn't much good about it, to be honest. But we sort of would come out the straight where the tents were, do a left-hand turn and then a right over a bridge. And the bridge probably only lifted maybe a foot. I don't know. It wasn't a bridge really. It was just a slight rise and down. And then it was an out and back and do whatever. And then
past
come
that
back.
Random club. Remember in the middle of the night?
Beside the toilet block, which didn't smell good. So the nightclub that raved all night. And then the turnaround, and you come back and you go the same bridge and then swing around the back. Now, the reason I tell you that is because however many laps we did, so for 230, what's that? It's 115. So I did 116 laps. right? And every single lap I said the same thing to myself. I don't know how it started, but it kind of became a bit of a joke. And every time we'd round the corner to go over the bridge, and the wind would smack you in the face because it was quite windy, and it was windy the whole time. Do you remember that, Andy?
Yes.
And every time I rounded, I was like, somehow the Bette Midler song, "The Wind Beneath My Wings."
Oh no, you had that? Oh my!
Come into my brain, and I was like, "Let it be the wind beneath your wings, Maree." And so
I think we got a new title for the episode.
and then we'd go over this slight rise, like I said, which wasn't really a rise. And as we came off the rise, I'd say, "Yep, don't waste the down," like a proper trail runner.
It's an enormous bridge.
Don't waste the down. And then I would run, and at the turnaround, I was like, here we go again. Let's go back. And then again, we'd go over the bridge. Don't waste the down. And then it was the stupidest thing. And that was it. So that was only a K apart. And I would say, just let it be the wind beneath your wings.
You are the wind beneath.
Yeah. And I almost sang it a few times, but it was exactly the same, because it's the same spot. And every time I'd round that corner and the wind would just howl into you, and you felt like, especially because it rained and we had these jumpers, like these rain jackets on, it were kind of parachuting with the wind because it was so windy. And it was always just smack in the face as you turn. And I was like, yep, let it be the wind beneath your wings. You're just going to float and fly, whatever. Like the wind beneath my wings. So dumb, Bette Midler. But yeah, like everything I did in that race, I did it. And I guess I showed them with my running. It was a 20K PB and a 24-hour. So for me, it was a really good thing for me to see that I could do what I want to do if I believe in myself. So yeah, that's a long version to your
wonderful
question, but yeah,
so
turn the
good.
corner for me.
Oh,
That's
yay.
beautiful.
Oh, so poetic, hey?
Well, we'll make sure.
No jokes.
We'll make sure whoever's in charge of the Aussie team in Albi brings a boombox with them and has that one on loop for
Breaks
you.
the song.
Oh God, you can imagine the Kiwi team now singing that to me on the way past. They're all my friends now.
Yeah, we might have to mention it. Yeah.
Very good. Oh, well, it's been wonderful chatting with you, Maree. Thank you for finally agreeing to come on and talk with us. I'm sure people will find it fascinating, all of the things that you've done, and hopefully glean some ways that they can singing the wind beneath their wings to themselves when they're out on runs. Yeah, it's been fun chatting, and we'll look forward to seeing hopefully you cracking that big goal at Albi.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be great. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Nice one.
It's nice having
Thank you,
you're
Maree.
my favourite friends from across the ditch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers.
Dead set legend.
She is. She definitely is.
Oh, look, I mean, not to, and I know we say this at the end, but thank you to those people who tune into the AidStation. And we just have to assure you we've got some banging guests coming up. We've got one for next week, which we recorded a little bit before Western States, which we're super excited to bring you. And then we've got some pearlers. We've got some pearlers lined up. So do keep listening. Dirt Church Radio is me, Matt Raymond.
Me, Ali Pottinger.
And our old mate, Andrew McDowell. Stay tuned, as we said, for the regular DCR podcast over the upcoming weeks. We've got some just wee Bobby Dazzler guests to share with you. Mā te wā.